Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nick.
I'm Vic.
And we are Envy Board Gaming. We're doing another 10 on our top 100 of all time, or top 50. Vic has already announced that I think she wants to do 100 next year, next time we do it. So we're doing our 40 through our 31 this time. If you've joined us before, welcome back. If you haven't, please watch some of the other videos, maybe get a feel for the games that we like, because it was a struggle to get down to this list. These are games that we generally love. It's not just like, oh, I'm struggling to come up with 50 games. Or
oh, we have so many games.
So yeah, the games that were all mentioned here, I genuinely love. I want to play all of them right now if I could. And there's no fillers. I don't think there's any fillers here like, oh, that just barely squeaked in. These are, like, I have lists of games, the next 100 right here in case like I need to reference it. So there's definitely a love for games between us that it's hard to whittle it down like this. Okay, so having said that, we're gonna start our 40. Do you think there will be any crossovers? Now that we have a little feel, I wanted her to do 10, so I know kind of where she's at in her ranking, and she's already seen 60 of mine. So do you want to see, what do you think about crossovers just for this 10?
In this 10, I think we might have 2 crossovers. That's my guess. I know that we don't always.
How many?
2. I think we might have 2.
I'm gonna go up 1. I'm gonna say 3.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Let's start with number 40 for Vic.
So number 40 for me is another car game. I mentioned in our last video a Craftwagon game. This game is a little newer for us in our collection. We played it at 2 players and we had an opportunity to play it at 4. It took a little long, but that's only because there was a lot of jabbering and talking, and we also had to factor in the teach and playing it for the first time. We did it with Andrew and Sam. But this game is Kanban EV. You're building an electric vehicle in this game. It's a very complex game, probably the most complex game that we've played or up there for us. We do play some pretty heavy games. But this game, you know, maybe the board may not come off and go, oh wow, people, but they do have the colorful cars that come out and they end up on a racing track, and there's this really interesting meeting, this big red meeting thing, a calendar that comes out. Some of the game pieces, the component quality is very high. And in the game, you're just basically going to different spots. You're going to be trying your best to be really educated in different areas of this auto manufacturing process, while also trying to churn out cars so that you can hopefully have the right car that matches, then hopefully it's upgraded on top of that. So there's so many things that you have to kind of plan out, and there's a lot of cerebral activity with it. You really have to make meaningful decisions, plan out the course of action, how things are going to go. And at the same time, there's this character, Sandy, and she's judging you, and she's evaluating Sandra. Well, Sandy for short.
Yeah, Sandy.
I'm on a nickname basis with her now. But there's a friendly version of her too. But we played only the mean one, and she comes and she evaluates how you're doing. So if you're not doing, if you haven't upgraded your education in those specific areas that she's evaluating, you're going to have a penalty suffered. And just, yeah, you're just watching so many different parts, and you're seeing what other people are doing too. And it's a fun game, yeah.
It's a good one. It wouldn't be on my list, except I did my list before we ever played it.
Oh,
so
sorry.
Maybe next year it might make it. We'll see how I feel about it as we keep playing it.
I am blessed that I got to put it on this list.
Yeah, I thought I was trying to hold off on the list just to see how I like that. There's a few games that we played since like my first recording of this. I was like, oh, that had a chance. That one had a chance, and the Kanban was one of them. A couple other ones too actually have a chance. All right. So my number 40 has been mentioned, but not this video, obviously, because she only mentioned one game. It was your last pick, your last video. It's a worker placement game.
Whoa.
Do you know what it is? Worker placement, last video. Another hint, it would be easy. It's a Viking theme.
Yeah, it's Champions of Midgard, yeah.
Champions of Midgard is number 40. Step up from Lords of Waterdeep. Or Lords of Waterdeep, yeah. Waterdeep's a whole other game. Lords of Waterdeep. So this one, Morales, what was curious, I remember he wanted us to actually do a video comparing the two. He likes them both quite a bit. He was thinking maybe, like, why even own Waterdeep if he already has Champions? But they're 2 separate games. They're both great games. This would just be the next step to that. And we don't talk about too much more. You've already mentioned it. Yeah. But Viking themed has 2 great expansions. One of them really changes the game a lot. The other one's just more of a good thing, really. It does add another board, I believe, too. I mixed it all up right away. I got both expansions, so now I'm trying to think, does that board get added?
Yeah, what's distinct?
Yeah, right, because it all got added. We threw it all in and threw the sync at it. It was really fun, though. So a great worker placement game at Champions of Midgard.
We like 40. It a lot. So number 39 for me is a game that we don't get to play that often, but when we do, we have fun doing it, of course. We love playing games. Games are fun.
I hate it.
It is a space-themed game, and it is Circadian's First Light. I really enjoy getting placing out. You have sort of your own player board where you can build up tiles and upgrade your garage. So you're monitoring that progress while also paying a cost for sending out ships or people to assign to action spaces. It's got a dice mechanic to it. You have to move around a ship to gain resources, and it's sort of just, you have to use a dice to determine what direction you're moving there. And then there's just a lot going on. There's a whole bunch of separate board altogether where you're sort of influencing and dealing with these leaders that are, you're trading out resources that you have and locking up spots of bonuses. It creates a very tight game. And yeah, that's my 39.
Nice. We hope to get that expansion. That expansion is supposed to get reprinted this year. Another one that was commented, S.J. McDonald, I think, was the one that commented that. I could be wrong. I believe he commented on Board Game Geek on our video and let us know that that's going to get reprinted this coming year. It could have been Shem Phillips, but I think it was McDonald. Yeah. All right. Next up is number 39. For me, that is a beautiful game with beautiful components and a beautiful insert. It is a little smaller game, but it's not cheap because of the quality of the game you're getting. It features the national parks. It is called Parks. Parks is an amazing game. You can show this to just about anybody. There's a little chunkiness, especially if you throw in the Nightfall expansion, which is a masterpiece, an excellent expansion, top 5 expansion that I own. Adds a lot with the cams. Parks is a fantastic game. You're traveling around, getting resources. There is turn angst in there, but it's also a very peaceful game. Very appealing to your eye to see all this magnificent art. One of the most beautiful art-wise games out there, and highly recommend it. Just in the presence alone in the gameplay, thankfully, is a very silky smooth, awesome game.
Yeah, you feel like you want to visit those parks.
You do. We played that where we shuffled them up.
Yeah.
And if Vic picked, what we did is we had 20 cards. Let's say, Vic, if you can pick the park that you want to go to, and we match, because I had my list, I wrote it down, and we match, we're going. That's your next trip. We never matched. We did twice.
We haven't matched yet. Yeah,
we did twice.
Disappointing. Sorry. If you were looking for something really cool, we did not yet.
No, it didn't match, but it was a cool idea.
So 38 for me is a game that we have not played the physical copy of. Nick mentioned it earlier in his video, so this is a bit of a crossover here. I think it would be our first one. Yes, our first one of this section. And it is Suburbia. No, it wouldn't be because you're not in top 50. You have to put it in top 50.
Yeah.
So no, he mentioned 58. It. Yes, he put 58. It was close, but obviously not in these 2 series that I've been involved. But Suburbia, for us, a lot of fun. We were trading off the app, so I can only imagine what the physical game would be like because I love tile placements, and I like the way that you can add to your score, multiply the score by starting to get different buildings adjacent to each other, and kind of identify your strategy based on objectives. So think about which ones you want to add and what are you going to stay away with, what are you going to try to get the most of so you can score the best on that category. And just a really fun, we saw tons of different buildings come up, so that's always good to do that. And yeah, we only did the electronic version. So
a lot. We did it on the plane a lot of times before bed on our vacation in San Antonio. We did it a lot. We just kept playing Suburbia. Let's play Suburbia. Want to go Suburbia before bed? Yeah. Suburbia before bed.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The app is really good. Yeah.
No. It's good game-wise, but the multiplayer is not that good. But you can play bots. That's cool. Yeah. But it's more of a pass and play. If you have that type of atmosphere going, you can pass and play it.
Yeah, he has played more app games than I have.
All right, we're on to number 38 for me. Number 38 might surprise you. It is a game I didn't buy. However, I have an expansion for it, which we have not played. We recently talked about it because we're going to get it back from your mother soon. It is Viral.
Oh, really?
Viral's on my list. Number 38. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was super fun when we played it. The area control in this game is very interesting. I think it's an underrated game.
Yeah,
I don't hear a lot of people talk about it.
No one talks about it. I know, and I even put it didn't make the 50.
Oh,
it didn't make
I had a lot
50.
of fun with that game.
I just really like it, but it's been so long since we played it. And I really like that it's so introductory that you can play it with people who are not hardcore gamers.
Think so?
We were fine with Lisa and Nate. We played that with Lisa and Nate, and they're not always playing like really heavy games.
Okay.
And I thought we had a decent success with it because it is card-driven game. It's not too crazy, but there's that worker placement or area control, not worker placement, area control element that is so unique. It's a human body. Nobody does that.
Yeah, things are moving all over, kind of thematic. The way the viruses are moving or whatever.
Through your bloodstream and different digestive system, and
some ways are going up and down. It's thematic in that way too.
Yeah,
it's not what you like a standard that goes straight down. You're gonna go this one uniformed way every time. And if you're doing too good, they find a cure for you.
Yeah. So you can't be too successful taking over too many places because now your presence is getting discovered.
Yeah.
It's just so clever that they thought of that. I don't know. I really like that
game
too.
And that was my 38, despite Vic talking most of it because she enjoys it. I don't know how it's not in your 50 if you enjoyed it that much. 38 is viral.
Tell us more about viral.
Let me start from the top.
Sorry, Nick.
No, that's fine. I'm happy you're happy.
It's on its way back here, though. My mom is going to bring it.
Back up her ranks.
Yeah. We'll do a video on it. We haven't done a video on this game.
We have so many games to do. Maybe we'll do a video on that one.
No, we're going to do a video.
We're going to do it. Good.
I'll do the video on that one. I'm going to edit it, everything.
Do a playthrough.
Okay. All right, so 37 for me is a game that we've played a lot of. We've played it at 2 and we've played it at 4. I mean, heck, that could be any game for us because we play so many games. But this game is Crown of Amara. I really like the 2 boards. I like that you have to think about playing the cards you have. You only have 3 per round that you're playing out of a total of 9. So you have these cards. It's going to determine what you're going to do, but you have to assign them to boot steps of how many spaces you're going to move. So there's 2 boards. You're only going to move one side of the board. What are you going to do, right? And that bifurcation is really cool. The big chunky people that you're moving around, I like those folks. I like the resources. Just a lot going on. I like the different strategies, ways to win. There's not one set path to victory. And we enjoy the game. So yeah, Crown of Amara. Nick mentioned it on his list.
Yeah, despite there being only 4 actions on that board and 4 on that board, the way they coincide, like, I need this first, then I can do that. And the way you're doing that puzzle, that's great. I didn't mention it. It was my number 52. Cool. Good pick. Number 37 for me is a cooperative game. Competes with Kanban for the heaviest game that we own is Spirit Island. Because Spirit Island, there's so many things that you have to consider. I wouldn't even really want to play this more than 2 players. I think 2 players is about what I want. Because if you have to really work out something with more than 2, at the Dice Tower pre-cruise party, someone invited us to play what would have been like a 5 or 6 player game. And I was like, no, I'm good. And this is my number 37 that I'm declining of all time. And I'm declining it because it's just like, that's going to take forever. And I don't really want to go over this strategy. Like, our rounds are going to get frustrating because it's like, I was taking care of that. No, I'm going to take care of it.
Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah, the stepping on each other's toes.
Are you going to produce red or are you going to... I need red. You're trying to produce elements.
Yeah.
You're getting rid of all these, I guess they're colonists. They're trying to settle, and you're the spirits trying to get, save the island.
With the native folks,
Dahan. Yeah. So the theme, take or leave it. I like the cooperative nature of the game for a 2-player game, or maybe even a solo, but I like it at 2.
It's such a nice victory when you and I do play, because it's not always an easy game to win.
Because we keep up in the difficulty.
Yeah.
It is an easy game if you don't have the scenarios and up the difficulty. Then it's like, this is too easy to win. We can win every time. But as soon as you keep up in the level on the scenarios, then it's like, this is getting a little dicey over here.
Yeah, I'll never forget never winning in Reckoners, so I can't really compare.
Yeah.
All right. So number 36 for me is a game that does require an app, so some people not really into that. But I feel like the app presence in this game really creates an infinite number of scenarios. The game makes you feel really, really smart when you are able to solve it. This game has a great theme. I really like space themes. And this game is The Search for Planet X. It ran out of print very quickly when it first came out earlier this year, was it, or late last year? I think it was late last year that it really was. But when it came out, this is 2021, when it did come out, we missed the first opportunity to get it, but we were able to grab it on a reprint. We had it, and then you get the app. In this game, you're trying to find Planet X and you're using deductive reasoning, and what you do know, everybody shares the same amount of facts, and there's all this information you got to seek out, and you have to take an action to do that. Though you need to get more information about relationships between different objects in the solar system. And it sounds really, you know, much, but really when you get playing it, it's just fun to have that achievement of solving for this planet. And that doesn't necessarily mean you'll win if you have the Planet X location, because another person could have an opportunity to win based on the other objects that they've discovered as well. And just what a phenomenal game for me.
Yeah, it sounds like really complex. Way good. Like, I know. You're getting peer reviewed and stuff. You're getting points from peer reviews. Like, yeah, that was proven. Good, you get points. And it's like, whoa, you're getting peer reviewed in this game? Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Cool. That was 36. So my 36 is a crossover for this list. So it's our first one on this list. It is Arcadian's First Light. Don't have too much to add other than very thinky out here. There's so many resources that you're trying to puzzle out. Can I buy that card then at my next turn? If I spend this many of the, what are they? I want to call them kelp, but I don't.
Yeah, the seaweed, sea kelp.
Yeah, I don't know if it's kelp.
Space weed.
Because that's underwater city, so it's kelp. But the green resource,
algae.
It's algae. Or the bolts, which are probably energy.
Energy, yeah.
Then there's all kinds of different ones. There's the red
water,
ones.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't even know what those resources are.
Yeah, I know the red one. I don't know. Ruby, maybe.
They look like a heart. Like
yeah,
it's a
heart.
Gem.
It's a
it's a human heart.
Probably.
So when you're transferring a human heart for all this, which are more valuable out there. So you're moving that spaceship, your little ship around the board as well, which Vic mentioned. That's actually a little, probably the smaller part of the game because you're doing so many other things.
Just one space of the many,
ships, upgrading the ships that in your garage, all that kind of stuff. I think it's amazing, and I can't wait for the expansion, like I said when you mentioned it. So that is my number 36.
Woohoo!
35.
All right. 35 is a game you mentioned in your previous list. It's not scoring close here, but it is Queendomino. So this game, Nick already talked a bit about it, but I really like tile placement game. I like the decision that you make between what you're going to let your opponent have, how you're going to be, in what order you're going to be placing yourself. So in what order will you be able to make the next choice of tiles? It kind of determines like the selection for yourself. And taxing, putting your little knight out as well, and getting scoring off of those little pieces, and the way you can build combos in your kingdom, the landscapes matching the right terrains, and then getting multipliers for it. It's so fun, and it's easy to teach. I was able to pick this game up at Snakes and Lattes in Toronto, play it with some girlfriends of mine that haven't played this before and aren't really gamer people, and they were able to pick up on the game, and I think Marianne even beat me the very first time, and that tends to happen when you teach a game. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yes.
But Queendomino is my number 35.
Cool. All right, number 35 for me is a Euro game through and through. It's similar to games like Lorenzo Il Magnifico and Grand Austria Hotel even. Same designer, I'm pretty sure. Luciani. Do you know what it is already?
Is it Newton?
It is Newton. Newton. It has potions in there. It has all kinds of stuff. It even has the same type of scientists that you have.
Yeah, the historical, like Lorenzo. Renaissance figures. Yeah.
The same type of cards you have in Lorenzo, where you have those things where you need a prerequisite in order to trigger. You can show them and get those bonuses. Very cool. We have to make to the diploma section to trigger the bonus. It's actually a little more difficult to trigger those people in Newton. Newton's a tight game. It has, when you think about it, it only has like 5 actions. But the way you trigger those actions with your cards, and it can make it more powerful by playing multiple of that symbol. You can study to get more cards. You can get your books out there to give you points at the end of the round by making rows and columns, triggering off points that way, getting different abilities based on the people you've unlocked. Going on different, you're moving on 2 different boards, but it's more complex than say something like Crown of Amara. One board you're going around, it kind of reminds you of a game like Marco Polo or Coimbra on the one board where you're moving, and the other board almost looks like a tech tree, just the way it's designed, but it's a flow chart where you're going up different things, and when you get to the top you'll have end game victory points based on things that you are going for, but you can't go back. Once you decide you're going for one track, you have to go for that track and keep going, but you can get more workers to go on other tracks as well and trigger up different things and get end game points that way.
And you need to meet the prerequisites for that too at the end.
At the end, yeah. So you got to be careful where you're going, because if you go to a dead end, your guy's done.
That's it.
And when you go to the very end of the track and it turns out that end game thing doesn't really apply to you, well, you're stuck there.
Yeah.
And there's also a work track, which is the most boring action, but very, very beneficial. It gives you money and currency in this game. It's tight and it's very useful. So that is Newton 35.
Good pick, Nick.
Dang right.
Alrighty, so number 34 for me is a game that you really like. I know you really, really do, and I think it's going to be in your top 20. That's my guess. So this game is La Granja. I really like the use of the cards. I like the way that they get turned to different places in your board. It is a Euro game. Yeah, it's a drier game for some people too. It might be, but you have these little pigs that you're gonna accrue. You can choose to fulfill orders, and there's special areas that you want to be the first one to fill something out because you're going to get a bonus for it. You're going to be able to put your token down in the market stall area. I think that's what that is in the middle there where all the tents are, whatever. But we really have fun playing this game, and I know you really like it, and you have backed a super deluxe, awesome.
Not yet. It hasn't come out yet, but I will.
He's ready to click the button.
Just tell me the word, guys. It's on.
Yeah, so that's my 34.
Cool. All right, number 34 for me is a game we played a long time ago. We keep coming back to it. One of the first reviews we ever did on our channel. It is called Five Tribes. Five Tribes is obviously a great game. It's classic, and the expansion was great that we played. Sultans, I can't remember what it was. Very good expansion that added to this game. Added mountains and added these different these purple meeples that give you different magic. Yeah, the artisans. There it is. But the base game itself is very good. I just prefer adding at least one of those expansions as well.
Yeah.
A thinky game a bit, but I think it's a little overhyped. The thinky part of it is a little overhyped. I don't think it's that difficult of a puzzle. I don't think you're gonna sit there analysis paralysis forever. Some people knock it for that ability to do that, or somebody come over your shoulder and saying, "Yeah, I see the right move," or somebody judging you based on your move. I don't get that at all, but we only played at 2. We only played this game at 2, but it works fantastic. And I can see it working with more players just as fantastic. It's a classic. If you haven't played Five Tribes, give it a go. It's definitely one you should play. You should at least try.
I love the tension of hoping that the person doesn't see what you see, and you're trying your best not even look at the board so they don't read your eyes. You're just like, I don't know.
What time's that game start?
Yeah. You act like there's nothing out there, you know.
Yeah, well, that's don't worry,
yeah. It's a good one, really fun. All right, so number 33 is a game Nick's mentioned already in his list. So I guess I'm scoring things as I was watching Nick's video of his top 100, the 50 first ones in that. I was thinking, man, I'm scoring some of these quite high, but this one is Santa Monica for me. I have a lot of fun with this. I like that it's not a brain burner because, I've mentioned some heavy games here. I like a mix. I don't always want to just play heavy games all the time, and I don't think that Nick does necessarily. I know that you enjoy playing lighter games as well, but this game, I think that the art is so pretty. Nick already mentioned how nice the art is. I like that style of artwork. I love that you're building out this beachscape and you're hoping to move your tourists along where you need them. Are you gonna get the perfect piece? And a bit like Five Tribes, where you're sitting there thinking, oh boy, I hope they don't take that, or the incentive might be right in front of it with the bus, and they're probably gonna take that piece. And just the sand dollars, wow, those are so cool. I love the chunky sand dollars are so fun, and it's got a lot to the game, and it has a beautiful box. I just love the look of it. So that's my 33.
Cool. My number 33 is a game that I wonder if it's higher on your list. I think it might be. Will it be on this list? I think we're kind of in the range where it might be. My number 33 is Whistle Mountain. Whistle Mountain's a game that actually Vic was the first one to learn between us. She learned it, and while I was at work, and she does that sometimes, which is nice because I have to come home and learn it, and it takes away from her night sometimes after work. So if she already has it learned and she can teach it, awesome. And I think I don't know if you're the one to teach it even to friends too. Nice. Yeah. So this one really this might be higher because of that, because she knew it first. She taught it. Don't know. Another wonderful game where you're actually quite a bit going on. It's not a very easy teach, I wouldn't think. Maybe for you, I don't know.
I just blew everything away. I was so amazing at it.
Yeah. You're putting your little blimps out there doing things that you're covering or adjacent.
There's a flood.
There's a flood, yeah. To me, it doesn't seem like that easy to teach. I mean, it's not like Kanban when I'm teaching that, but it's still, when you're thinking of a game called Whistle Mountain, you're not expecting a heavy-ish, a medium-heavy game.
Yeah.
But it is very good.
Yeah, I like that. And I like the art in it. We played Whistle Stop. We have a review of Whistle Stop. We did sell Whistle Stop, or it's in our trade. Yeah, it hasn't been sold yet, but it's on our trading block. This one took the place for us, I would say, definitely. So 32 is a crossover. Another crossover on our list.
This one?
Yep. In this section, I didn't mess it up.
Whistle Mountain?
No, I don't want. Not that one.
Is it? Let's see. Let me look. I'm gonna say Parks.
No, it is Five Tribes.
Okay.
I was thinking along the same lines as you on Five Tribes. Just fun, really. We don't get to play it a lot because there's so many games that we do play, but it takes a little bit to set it up because you got to drop all those meatballs out, and it's a big board. But it's not too crazy, and you could teach this to people. I think once people have graduated from maybe some other puzzle games, they'll understand this and get some of the other components to it, like shooting somebody with the assassin. I love the way that the little different colored meatballs do different actions for you, or they score differently. So suddenly, you have this blue one that lets you take some cards, or was it green? I think that's blue or green. One of those. Correct me, I guess, in the comments. I don't know. I'm just going by memory.
Oh yeah.
There's ones that give you. We always refer to the score, the reference sheet, which is
nice.
Amazing. I love me a good reference sheet. If you watch this channel, you know I mention it every time. Yeah, it's pretty good. The green ones get you that, and then the blue, they just score for what's around you. So it's just so cool. You got so many things to think about, and then when you add the expansions, like Nick mentioned, there's more meat on that bone, more that you can consider when you're hiring a Djinn. There's different elements, and you can go different strategies in this game. There's not necessarily one way to win, but you definitely want to drop your camels and hopefully get the palm trees out there, or the palaces, and really stack up. Just so much going on. I really like that game, Five Tribes.
And that expansion, another thing awesome about that is, how you throw an expansion and sometimes you don't even use it really. Like, I kind of like the other workers better. This one, I have no qualms about using that expansion. I was like, I'll take the purple ones. That's cool.
Yeah.
What they do is cool. It's interesting. So,
I like it too.
So that, like I said, that's a good one to add. Wish I remember the names of it. Artisans of whatever, something.
Nahala.
It's Sultans of something. The Sultans of Swing. Go look it up. All right, we're number 32. 32, you said, right? So we are number 32. That one is, for me,
we did 32 because that was my 32 was Five Tribes.
But I think I lead, so now we're on 32. Right? Because we did it reversed. No?
I think you're on 31.
Something's wrong because I just did 33. 32. Who led? So I started talking. Then I passed it to you for your 40, correct? Mm-hmm. So then I should be doing the same number you just did, which was 32. All right, did you not just do 32? Mm-hmm. So we're good. I'm on 32.
Sorry.
Cool. All right, we're not going to cut that out. We're leaving that in. 32, continuing, is... okay, what's the name? This was a Stefan Feld game. Dry as dry. They didn't even need a theme because I don't see a theme. There is a theme, but I don't see it at all. It's a heavier-ish, heavy-ish. I don't think it's that heavy, to be honest about it, but a lot of people call it heavy. It's called Trajan. I think Trajan's awesome. I love playing the game. I request it quite often when we do our little 6 list where we pick 3 games each. Trajan's on the list quite often because, but you almost have to relearn it a little bit, but I can feel like if I pulled it out, I'm going to learn it really quick because I remember quite a bit about it. The way you're taking those pieces, moving on, then trigger that action, and go all these different actions that tie together a bit on the board, getting these little pieces, those tokens, and trying to make the needs of the people or whatever. I wish I knew the theme because I don't know whose needs I'm meeting. I just
the
know
Romans,
I'm meeting
the Romans,
the Roman people, not the king or not
the empire.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, there's different little steps in this palace, I guess. I don't know what that is. That's the Senate?
Yeah, there's a Senate. It's like the Roman Senate.
Okay, that's like the little pieces, like the little square tokens all over, like little steps. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's the Senate. Huh,
I think.
Like I said,
I'm making stuff up.
That could be accurate. It's just like I don't see the theme. I'm just getting this token right here. I want that token because it has the symbol I want, which gives me this action. And sometimes it gives you points. Sometimes it gives you other things. But there's a bunch of actions to pick from, so there's no bad actions. Some of them are just matching the right pawn pieces for the right colors for points, and some of them are as simple as that. But some of them are a little more complex and more things going on. A lot of puzzles, a lot of things to look at and consider in Trajan. That's probably why people consider it a heavy game. But rules-wise, I don't think it's that heavy. But anyway, Trajan, that is my number 32, Victoria.
So I'm going to give my 31? Yeah. Okay, thank goodness. So this game has a weird shaped box. Nick backed it on Kickstarter. It showed up. He kept talking about this game, and it was kind of funny because we were talking about anticipated games. We should get back to contributing to Favorite Game Friday, but the Dice Tower has a Favorite Game Friday. He would mention this, and I kept thinking, he said, oh yeah, there's this game I'm waiting for. He kept talking about Tidal Blades. Oh, this Tidal Blades game. And I thought it was like Beyblades. I don't know. I never understood what this Tidal Blades was. And then he shows me when this thing shows up, and he got the deluxe one with the better, the little squishy. They're so
That's
fun.
All she cares about.
Yeah,
squishy berries,
the squishy berries, the squishy oranges, and the. I just love the components of it right away. It made an impact for me, and rolling dice. Really like rolling dice in this game. Tidal Blades is a game we don't get to play a lot, and it did fall a bit for us altogether with our initial scores of the game. I think that when we played it again, we were less enthused with it. I believe we both shared that sentiment. But
just the monster part of it for me.
Mm-hmm, yeah, when
everything
you're battling.
Awesome.
But everything else, the competition's trying to get the cards that you need and then scoring off the right dice that you have. I love the dice quality, the colors of the game. I like the different abilities that the different characters have, and that changes up the game from game to game. And you can try to go for different stuff and maybe try to max out a skill, or just where you're choosing to go, you can get blocked out by someone else. It's a very tight game. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm, it is. And they're doing a season 2. That was season 1 that we bought. Season 2 I don't know much about, so I can't tell you if I'm backing it or not. Don't know the mechanics, don't know anything. I just know season 2 they're continuing the story. The story I never read, but I mean we get a book with it. We backed the deluxe and we had like a book to read, a comic,
whole lore
thing, lore of the game, which I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not theme, I don't know. I'll read it, I guess, if I have a lot of time, but I have not had that time and don't care nearly enough at the moment to read the lore.
If you want to buy the lore book from us, Nick can give you a price.
3 easy payments of...
One of them is going to be really difficult. Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg, rest in peace, brother. All right. That is...
Yeah, we're powering through this list together.
One more. I have one more.
Yeah, how can we forget?
I have my number 31, and this game doesn't look good. I actually complained about the VP in this game. The VP is actually tokens for happiness. They're little pink
Andrew
tokens.
likes it. He said in his
He loved
thing,
it. He said He said it's the best thing ever. Better than. Okay. 31 is Santa Maria. I always get confused with that game because it's Santa Monica. Santa Maria plays amazing, so my only knock was what I led with, that VP tokens. Okay, my other knock is the game doesn't look good at all. The game itself doesn't look good. The VP tokens are terrible. They're the worst component I have, aside from guilds, that little marker, which I disposed of. And I really trashed in that game because of that. Like, you don't ever do this to me.
Yeah, I watched that review not long ago again, just to see what you had to say about the guild
me
piece.
Spazzing out about it.
Yeah.
Like going on for like 5 minutes. Let's talk about this piece right here. Zoom in on this.
It's crazy, yeah. Anyway.
No, let's continue about guilds. So guilds is my number 574. Santa Maria. You're building out your own little board. It's the numbers on your dice are gonna get better and better because you're triggering off so many things. And then the cool thing is the last spot you end on, where the things that you trigger off, is where that dice stays. And now you can only trigger off everything that you have uncovered the rest of the way. And you're going both ways. You're going from left to right, up to down. You got blue dice, you got white dice. You're triggering off different things. Everything gets more powerful as you play in your tableau. There's also things that give you victory points if you have paths and whatnot. You're triggering off different actions with those, like a conquistador track. You're doing the shipping action. You're doing all kinds of stuff. Despite the look and it feels like they didn't put enough effort into this game. Like, this was a lazy design as far as graphic design, everything. You play the game, and mechanically it's a very sound game. So if you don't care about the looks, or you care minimally about the looks, it's a fantastic game itself. The design is excellent. The graphic design is poor. So you know right then if you want to give it a try or not. So that's my 31. I'm a design guy. I am straight up, give me the mechanics of the game. Let's try it out. If it works out, I don't care if it's a piece of garbage. I will play it, I will enjoy it, and I'll rank it highly. But I will mention that that it looks like garbage, but it plays good. So that's my 31,
Yeah.
Santa Maria.
Good pick. All right, so that is our latest in the top 100/top 50 games of all time for us. Nick doing 100, me doing 50. Stay tuned for our next batch of 10, and we'll see you next time. Bye.